Yo, what's going on, everybody? Keep my moments in full color, and I am back with another Last of Us 2 video. Now, in the last one, I did kind of graze over some elements that I had slight issues with, and I just wanted to address those now. Before we begin, this video is full of spoilers. It is spoiler full. So if you have not played The Last of Us 2 and you are looking forward to playing it, please just do not watch this. So without further ado, let's begin. Like I said in my review, I played the first Last of Us right before I played The Last of Us 2, and I once again really love Joel, his character, and I gravitate towards Joel a lot. And I felt like, the first game really built Joel's up, a lot of character development for him. And with the second game, I said that, I didn't know how they continued from there. How is it that they polarized you in the way that they did with the first one? The first one was for Ellie's safety, and it was that parental, like, I need to make sure that this kid is okay. This one, I mean, how do you continue that feeling? And for the first part of the game, I was, kind of detached from it. But then there was the Joel scene. I, was ready to go, ready to rock and roll, all for Joel, because of how much he was built up. But then they did something, and I understand why I was done. But it was the playing as Abby and getting Abby's side of things. This kind of broke Joel down in a way. Like, now I know that our parents have kind of these sides to them that they've shielded us from. They didn't want us to see kind of like the bad things that they've done. And I get it. Ellie ends up having to come face to face with some of the bad things that Joel has done, lied to her and murdered people within that lie. Now, these are the Badlands. These are crazy, savage times. So I don't think the murdery part was something that she was that kind of upset with, but it was more of the, hey, I was supposed to be the cure. Why didn't you let me be the cure? And we even in this title with the ending, we do see Joel let her know, like, I love you, but he didn't need to say it. It was that if I was faced with that situation again, I'm doing it again. I'm not letting you die on a table for what? Like, to me. And I think we have these moments of Joel's, fatherly side, and we see how Ellie viewed Joel, but Abby viewed him completely different. And I completely understand why it is that they want us to see Abby's side, to show that she's not exactly a monster. She was on a warpath, and her warpath led her there. And then now we flip to Ellie, and it was a cyclical thing. Your dad killed my dad, so I went and killed him. Now you want to come kill me. It's that, if you're going after revenge, you better dig two graves saying, right? That's where we were at with the story. But however, I kind of just it didn't feel right at times to me. When you're playing as Abby and you're fighting Ellie, it just didn't feel that great. And maybe that is the entire point. Maybe that is the entire point of the whole thing, to have you face kind of ugliness and everything that encompasses. That they're not gonna make it look beautiful and pretty. It's gonna be raw. Let me tell you, that ending was nasty. Absolutely nasty. I cringed a little bit at how just visceral. I use that word a lot in the review for this game, and that's just, it was just, oh my god. But ultimately, I just didn't. I don't know. I think the game is a masterpiece, and I feel like this video is a testament to that. Like, it made me kind of feel ways, and I think at any point where any medium that kind of invokes any format of emotion out of you, I feel like that's a win. So I do prefer the first Last of Us to this. However, this one did cause me to think a little bit more, and in the end, there is really no answer to whatever it is. I don't even know what question I even have in terms of everything. I just know that there was this back and forth with Joel as a character, and it was 1 second we're bigging him up through Ellie's eyes, and then the next second we're tearing him down through Abby. So for me, a person who really liked Joel as a character, it just kind of tore me up a little bit, because it's like, man, that's the thing. You and I are going to view two people, we can view them totally different, and that's just a part of life. And I think that comes in with part with this revenge, with this warpath that this game was. Do I actually, want the fantasized version of revenge where I just play as Ellie and I just go through it? Or do I want the whole thing? Do I need the whole truth to really understand what it was that went down? With that being said, that was my issue with it. And I only decided to make this video because I realized that when I said that I had issues with the story, that there were some individuals who were upset with certain content, and now I would like to address that piece. I do want to save that for the podcast, but we knew Ellie's sexual orientation in the first game. It was it was there. There was, to me, honestly, I felt that in terms of, showing an LGBTQ plus setting, to have all that present, this was done in the most natural way in my eyes, personally. Like, it didn't feel like a forced thing. It wasn't like Ellie was super straight and then all of a sudden like jump ship. It was like from the first game, like we knew that she was gay, and that's what it was. Like, to me, like, this just felt like a really natural thing, and I personally had no issues with it whatsoever. And if anyone was upset about like the sex scene, that's weird too to me, because it's like, well, I don't know. We've all seen sex scenes of different things. Like, I personally dislike them in general. Like, I feel like you can allude to a sex scene, but ultimately if you show it, I'm not upset with it. So, like I said, I just wanted to address that. My issue was with Joel and having to, see him from other angles and perspectives, and how that kind of made him look like a worse of a person than what I believed him to be after playing the first game. So for me personally, it was just the tearing down of Joel was the issue I had. It had nothing to do with the LGBTQ plus stuff at all. That was completely natural and fine to me. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do think that still this game is a masterpiece. It's an amazing game. And once again, I would like to say, go play it if you have not played it. All right. With that being said, peace, be easy, be blessed. And the next podcast, we'll talk about this a little more.